What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
Yo.
Yo. What's happening, boys? Welcome back. Welcome to another episode. Gentlemen, everybody, listeners, watchers at home, thanks for being back. Tuesday, September 1st. This is episode 6. Episode
5.
Episode number 5.
You know, ahead of myself. Sorry. Episode 5, Hollywood Tales Live. Thanks for coming in and checking it out, watching with us, spending a little bit of time. It's going to be fun. Ahmed, Adrian, fellas, here we go. Here we are.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was great, man. Saturday was a nice chill day. Friday night was a long night, so Saturday was a nice chill day. And,
we did our last podcast Friday, and then you kind of just you kept the night going, right?
I did. Well, I'm here in Philly, and a good friend of mine in LA is the guy that like calls you at midnight. I love him. I adore and love him, so I don't mind. I never get to talk to him. And he FaceTimed me at midnight, LA. So it was like 3:00 my time. And I was like, what are you doing, man? And we ended up talking for a couple hours. So yeah, it was a long night, but it was cool. It's good to talk to him.
Tell everybody what you're doing in Philly. Who were people that weren't paying attention or didn't tune in last week? What are you doing?
So if you're not paying attention and you haven't been watching, I'm working on a show for HBO. A limited series. It's called Mayor of Easttown. It's starring Kate Winslet, Guy Pearce, Gene Nicholson, Gene Smart, Julian Nicholson. Good show. It's takes place here in the outskirts of Philly, the townships, and we've been here since October. We went down for a few months for COVID, but we're back and we're gearing up and getting our COVID sensibilities ready to be able to do film production. So it's challenging. It's cool.
And your position,
I'm in the location department. I'm a location manager, key assistant location manager, to be clear.
That's right.
And location scout. And I'm with one of the best crews I've ever worked with. I've worked with this crew a lot, and they're fucking great people. And the locals, it's really cool because we're on the East Coast, so there's excuse me, there's a bit of a disconnect in the way that you do things on the East Coast as opposed to the West Coast. When it comes to film production, each side has its own little peccadillos that you can do, that certain departments do. But
did you say peccadillo?
I know. What was that?
I said
peccadillo.
I haven't heard that word.
I'm a million. Leave me alone.
I gotta look that up. Bro.
You up, bro.
I gotta look that up. I don't even know what it's like.
What are you, a time traveler?
What are you, your father?
Who says Piccadillo these days?
Piccadillo.
I love it. You're bringing it back.
No, hold on.
I love it.
It's a word.
It's a word. Piccadillo.
Okay. So they have their own ways of doing things, and it was a bit of growing pains when we first got here. But the crew here is really, really cool. Our producers are awesome. It's a great show to be on. I'm very happy to be here. So I'm here. So we're here, and you guys. Adrian's in just outside New York. You're in Connecticut.
Yeah, I'm about 55 minutes from New York City, from East Harlem. I had a great weekend. I'm wearing my little Wakanda shirt.
I saw that. Some reggaeton shit going on right there.
Wakanda forever, bro.
Reggaeton, all that stuff. But we actually had a nice little weekend. We got away for a couple of days. I actually got a little booked for my first post-pandemic live comedy show, and got to do it at Mohegan Sun. And it went, pretty good. I was in the back by myself the whole time, and got to do my set. We had these little Jimmy hats for the microphones, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys are using it. Nice. I call them Jimmy Mikes. It went well. So we're gonna go back and do another one on the October 8th.
When you say we, who's we?
Oh, I always say we, like the company. So they invited me back to do another set October 5th at Comics.
Oh, nice.
Mohegan Sun.
Yeah, I know those guys. Who's the booker again? Father and son duo. I forgot their names.
I'm dealing with the guy that is probably dealing with them, Charlie Baguette, who books me. So he's out of Long Island. He does a lot of shows in Long Island.
That's cool.
I saw that the New York comedy scene is starting to open up outdoors, specifically and only, I guess, for now, right?
Yeah. Jersey just opened up indoor dining. I mean, Connecticut actually it's one of the best states I think it ranks at the top 3, if not number 1 in the whole handling the pandemic. And we've been open since pretty much late May.
Yeah, Jersey's doing really well with it, right? Jersey's got really low numbers and stuff. I mean,
they're about to open indoor dining this Friday for the indoor dining. They've had outdoor dining, so they're about to just open indoor dining this Friday at 25% capacity. So
right. That's cool.
So I mean, we're just taking it one day at a time, and it went pretty good. I even brought the kids. We stood at a hotel off-site and just let them hang out, and had a pool, and nobody was there, and it was fantastic.
Awesome.
And the kids got to just sort of just hang out and just sort of be kids for a little bit,
How many kids do you have?
I got 2. I got 12 I got a 12-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl.
You have teenagers, bro.
I got my girl. My daughter comes up to me. She's like, "Daddy, I'm officially tweening," and I go, "Okay, that's fine. Tween all you want. Just do not twerk."
No twerking.
No twerking. No, it's crazy. She's already taller than my son, so it's like
it's crazy.
She's like a size 14 already.
Size 14. They go quick, man. They jump up.
So that's my life. It's very exciting. Very excited. I do comedy, and then I hang out with my preteens.
You guys have a more exciting life than mine. I'll tell you that much.
What'd you do, man? What'd you do this weekend?
Well, we've been doing this I've been sort of supporting this late night drive-in series that's happening on Sunset Boulevard at the Andaz Hotel at the rooftop.
Oh, yeah, right.
So they screened Richard Pryor live from the Sunset Strip.
That's cool.
And then they had you sit in your car and you tune into the FM dial and you can hear the sound and then watch the movie they projected on the wall of the hotel. It was kind of cool. We've done stand-up.
Is the Andaz the Andaz the old Riot House, right? Turn it more. There you go. The Riot. Yeah. Okay. There you go. The Riot House. Thank you. You could have just said yes instead of being a dick about it.
I know because I just got this hat because I'm doing business up there.
That's badass.
All right.
Like that. That's tight. All right.
So we're doing stand-up comedy there, and we're trying to build that out. So I did that Saturday. Sunday, I was up at my friend's house in Malibu. They just built an outdoor kitchen, next to the pool with the whole deck, whatever. But in their kitchen, he put in a deep fryer. So I'm not a big, I don't eat a lot of deep fried fast food and shit like that. But if I can cook it and do it, I'll eat it. So we were eating deep fried shit all day Sunday. I put myself on tape for an audition, and then Sunday night there was somebody got jumped right outside of my bedroom window, and I taped it. I filmed it. It's some World Star shit.
Is that what you? No, you filmed me the guy driving into the store on Melrose.
I didn't film that. That was on Twitter.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Somebody on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this, Adrian. Some guy drove his car into a fucking.
We lost Ahmed. All right. He's back. Is it the same guy? Somebody drove in your house.
Yeah. I don't know. It was also a full moon last night, I believe, the night before. Last night or the night before, it was a full moon, and I don't know if you guys believe in any of this shit, but
hey, they say
definitely makes people fucking cuckoo. It's a fact.
Right. It rises the tide, it rises temperature, it makes everybody loquitos.
Wow, Scott got me so good. My buddy Scott is watching this right now, so go on, talk amongst yourselves. I'm having a text battle with him right now, fucker. Scott, Suskine, you. Yes, you. Okay, go on.
What's up, Christopher?
That's it, man. That was my weekend, and wanted to get back with you guys and keep this going.
Yeah, man. It was fun.
Cool, man.
Not bad. Not
Adrian,
bad.
can you hear? Can you hear us?
I can
I
hear
think I
you.
lost you.
Hey, Chris.
Okay.
What's up? What's up, Goulet?
Should we? I'll tell you what. Hang tight for 1 second, guys. I feel like I need to do a quick technical move. Give me 1 sec.
Do you think? Do you think? We lost Ahmed.
We lost the Met, but
lost the
we got Lindsay Stewart in the house. She says, "Hi,
Lindsay
chicken."
Stewart in the house. What's up, baby?
Is that your nickname, Eric? She says, "Hi, chicken."
Hi, chicken.
Why do they call you chicken?
It's actually my wife's nickname. I'm not quite sure why she's calling me chicken, but I'll take it.
Guilty. Hey, yeah, guilty by association.
You know what, man? Fucking just happy to be here, bro. Just happy to be here. Lindsay is a good friend of ours. We stayed with Lindsay and her husband Brian and their lovely daughter Sloan while we were traveling across country. A couple weeks ago.
All right. Can you guys hear me and see me? I think what happens is when I lose you guys for a second, I lose hearing on one of you, and then I have to log out, log back in. That's what's going on.
Amazing.
So
We got the best technology available, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing.
Oh, yeah. All right. Lindsay was saying hi to me, dummy. Why was okay?
Well, do you want to just get right into it and bring on our guest?
We got a fantastic guest. I think we should bring him on.
He's a good guest, man. He's a good guest. So, so tonight, ladies and gentlemen that are watching, and you boys. So Eric is an old friend of mine. Eric and I have known each other since high school, and I went on to do the things that I did, and he went on to become a iconic disco pop star in an iconic disco pop band of the 70s.
Oh,
Eric, and I'm going to let him tell the story about the audition and how he read about it in the paper and went and had no idea who it was and blah, blah, blah. Eric, are you hearing this? So we lost Ahmed.
So he'll come back. We got more. Hey, we got a great guest. We got more time to talk to Eric.
That's right. Okay.
We got two Erics. So we got Eric A and we got Eric.
It's a name so nicely.
It's Eric Mills.
Yeah, twice. So in that case, without further ado, I'm going to bring him on before Ahmed comes back on. Eric, are you ready? You ready? Everybody, please welcome Eric Anzalone.
What's up, dude?
What up?
Eric.
What up, dude? So Eric, I was telling people that we've known each other for a long time. I'm sure you heard all that stuff backstage. Go ahead and say hello to everybody. Introduce yourself.
We're back.
Oh, hi, Ahmed.
Hey, what's up, Eric? Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
All good, bro.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So you want to know how I ended up being an icon?
Yes. Would you please tell us the story of how you?
Well, don't forget. Before I was in that iconic group, I was one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I traded in my shell for leather.
That's I forgot about that.
Right. Well, but that's a whole other. Yeah, I was always into metal and rock, and I was in a band.
You were in a fairly successful like punk band for a while, weren't you? Like you guys did a lot, like a regionally successful punk band.
Well, not just regionally, we toured over in England as well. We were called Sir, and that's part of the reason I got divorced the first time is because I was doing double duty touring. I'm never home, It's like I literally came back with the Village People from like Asia. I was home for like 2 days, and then I got together with my boys and flew over to England to do this tour. And my life was crazy back then. But yeah, so I always was in bands, I had that band. Remember Steve? Remember Fielding?
Scott Susskind just texted me. He was also our shitty drummer.
Oh, that's true. You remember that? We would like play Van Halen at like Steve's house.
Oh yeah, Scott's garage.
Oh my god. Oh,
you sang. You played drums. Steve played guitar, and Scott played guitar, and we sucked.
Right. Oh man, we sucked so bad.
It was awesome.
But at that time, I also had another band with Steve. We were okay. We were called Paradigm. So we were doing, we played Madame Wong's and all that shit on the Sunset Strip.
Right.
So that was like late 80s when it was just insanity. Do you remember? It was just, that was
What's
What
that?
I
What's Madame
remember, yeah,
Wong's
what I
now?
remember, yeah, was Insanity.
What?
What's Madame Wong's now? What did it turn
I don't
into?
know.
God,
What is it?
I
You
have
know.
I have no idea. I have
You
no
know,
idea.
it's funny though, because I love. You see, we'll talk about the Village People, but what's really cool is like with my punk band, which I love because I didn't have to sing. All I had to do was play guitar. So that was, I mean, I never had to worry about warming up or anything like that. But like by the time we broke up, we were playing CBGBs on like Saturday nights and stuff. So
Oh, I
to
didn't
be
know
able to,
you guys got that. I mean, that's kind of awesome.
yeah. So
Yeah.
people always say, "What was your favorite gig?" And they always mean the Village People. I'm like, I don't know, man. It was either one of the gigs we did at CBGB's, which I'll never forget, or the final show we did in Brighton in England, where we were the only American punk band with all the British punk bands, and we killed it. So I'll never forget that night. That was insane. But
That's awesome.
but anyway, so getting back, this sort of gets back to the Village People, it ties it in. So when I finished up at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the guy that played Leonardo was like, I'm done with LA. Screw this. I'm going to move to New York. And I'm like, I'm down. Let's go. So I moved to New York and I had money saved up from the Turtles. And I thought, well, let me just get into a band. So I got, there we are. We got our star in the Walk of Fame.
Here he is. It's awesome.
That was a party. Yeah, it's right there. It's Hollywood and where is it at? Hollywood and Wilcox. Right there.
Hollywood and Wilcox. I know that place.
Yeah, me too.
So I was like, I looked through the Village Voice, and I'm just looking for like a band like Green Day or somebody who's doing that kind of punk at the time, Blink 182, that kind of band, the Peppers. And I see this ad, and all it says is well-known group looking for a singer with a passport. And I thought, well, I've never made money in a band, really. I get free drinks and stuff, basically cover our beer for the night. But they must be making money, passport, and I'd already done 3 European tours of shows and stuff, or actually 3 European tours, 2 American tours, and I sang I was a vocalist for Princess Cruises for a year, and I went around the world. So I figured I can do this, so I put it in my stuff, forgot about it. A week later, I get a phone call, and they're like, "Yeah, we got your demo. We got we'd like to meet you." And I'm like, "Great. What's the name of the band?" They're like, "Well, they're called the Village People." And I go, "Oh, like like a tribute band, like a wedding band?" They're like, "No." And I went, and at the time I was like 29. I'm thinking, and the guys were like late 30s, 40s, and I'm like, okay. So I go in, and there they all were, all sitting there, including Glenn, who I replaced, and we had a great interview. Hour later, they called me and said, "You got the gig." They liked my touring experience, because the first tour I did with them, I was actually the construction worker. I filled in for David Hodo, who's the original construction worker, European tour, and then the year later, I replaced Glenn as the Leatherman. So that's how it all started.
I have a couple questions, because I was a big fan, still am, of the Village People. There was a stigmatism, I guess, kind of around the band a little bit when I was growing up, that it was kind of positioned to be a, sort of lean toward the gay, homosexual demographic. Am I mistaken, or?
No, well, we were one of the original boy bands, I guess you could say. Our 2 producers that put the group together were Jacques Morelli and Henri Bololo. And Jacques was very, very gay and out. And he knew at the time, he was also a brilliant musician, and he knew at the time that disco was making it big in the gay clubs, and the gay clubs, or the black clubs, just everything that wasn't like white clubs. So, or not, I don't mean white, but you know what I mean. And he cured. I have a master's in race and gender. I have a master's in race and gender too, by the way. So he geared it towards the gay audience. He did. And
really,
was it
stereotypes?
Sorry, I just want to interject, because this it's along the lines of the same question. Wasn't Village People like as big or around the same time as Queen? Is that the same timeline?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact,
Didn't you guys kind of cross over a little bit?
And David and it was there were like I said, David and
Did
Freddie.
you ever meet? Did you meet Freddie Mercury? Did you guys hang out?
I didn't, because I joined the group. I was in the group for about 24, 25 years, depending on how you count it. But David was there from the beginning, and Freddie was one of David's good friends. Yeah, David adored Freddie, and
was there influence on, because it was from an extravagance perspective? Both bands were very big, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially Freddie, Mercury, the Village
Right.
People. Everybody had their own sort of big personalities.
The persona, the whole thing. It was big. It was a big show.
Yeah, it was a show. It wasn't just like, hey, we're going to come out and rock. You guys got outfits.
Right, and I got to say, the other thing though about the group, we've never been completely gay ever. I mean, I'm not gay, but I'm not the only straight person that's ever been in the Village People. Ray Simpson, who was the top up until 2018, who's Valerie Simpson's brother, he's married with kids, but that's what we always say about the group. We're like a little bit of a slice of Americana. We have different colors, we have different religions, we have different tastes in music, we have different sexual preferences, for a while we had different political leanings, but
you have blue collar workers.
Right. Yeah, but even personally, so everyone, they always would pigeonhole us as this kind of band, but we were always very diverse in that way. Yeah. But
the Yankees cleaning crew has used that song forever. I mean, it's like during the seventh inning stretch, whenever you see a Yankee game, the guys start popping out. They go, din, din, and then dragging the rakes. Din, 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 din. And it's
that
it was one of my most favorite parts going to the Yankee game back in the day. It's like in the 90s, it was crazy. I don't know if they still do it.
We have a good relationship with the Yankees, and one of my favorite moments with the group was before they tore down the old Yankee Stadium. The final All-Star game was held there, and we came out during the seventh inning stretch, and we did it with the grounds crew, and it was the only time that we've ever changed our choreography to do it like they did. So just to be on the field at Yankee Stadium during the All-Star game, that was just like one of those. That was just amazing, man.
How many hours a day or a week would you guys rehearse?
We travel, we tour a lot, or we did like 200, anywhere from 200 to 250 days a year.
That's crazy.
So we're working. We just work all year round. We don't let's do a tour. We'll
get Eric back.
We'll just take gigs and try to connect them together, and all around the world. I mean, like 250 days, 250,000 miles a year we were averaging. So we didn't rehearse that much unless we were if we go to Australia, because we've been to Australia like 30 times. We would change our show up because Can't Stop the Music, which was probably one of the worst films ever made, as David Hoda, it's like that bad haircut in your senior picture in the yearbook. It just keeps coming back to haunt you. But it's one of the biggest. It broke records down in Australia, and in fact, this day at midnight on New Year's Eve at the Stroke, they always play Can't Stop the Music, the film. So we have to add a lot of Can't Stop the Music when we go down to Australia. Not so much in the United States because it was a total bomb, but then we rehearse, or when we changed the show up, which we used to do quite a bit, we would rehearse, or when we were with a live orchestra, we would rehearse, or a band. We've performed with both. It's pretty cool when you're with a full orchestra and chorus behind you. It's pretty insane.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Did you get any underwear, like male, like a lot of underwear thrown at the stage?
Yeah, right.
a lot of Fruit of the Looms,
Yeah, no, believe it or not, man, a lot of women's underwear. Yeah, that's not a joke.
Ballads.
Yeah, and I gotta say, and this is kind of funny. We were doing this one gig, and I don't know, you can't see where they're coming from because it's a big audience. You're on stage, and all of a sudden these panties come flying up on stage. So So I grabbed the panties and realized, wow, these are warm and a little bit wet because people are dancing and hot. And I'm like, I'm holding on to them going, ah! Like, do I just drop them and go, ah? Because then whoever, I was like, what do you do with them?
You got to be
Well, set them over here. And, I'm like, what? But I also had a woman throw a bra up on stage, really nice bra, and I took it, and I was like, cool. I put it in my back pocket. Went backstage, was getting changed after the show, and security came up and said, there's some woman out there. She says you have your bra. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, what is this? Are you gonna give it to me? So I go out there, and there she is. And I'm like, oh hi. And she's like, hi, you have my bra? I go, yeah. And I start to give it to her, and she goes, no, I want you to put it on me. And I was like that. I see.
That's tricky.
So,
That's
believe it or not,
You didn't actually see that coming, huh?
No,
you see that?
I didn't. Well, I've had a lot of people always go, well, they just go village people and they sort of pigeonhole what you are, but it's all rock and roll, dude. And when I really started getting into it, I was younger and I just got divorced and I was like, oh man, this is total rock and roll. And we were doing this tour. It was us and Culture Club and Pseudo Echo, which is kind of a very well-known Australian band in Australia. They had a hit here in the United States, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, so we're touring with Culture Club, and I was on stage, and it's massive arena in Sydney, or was it Horden Pavilion? I don't remember. It was a bit. There was like 20,000 people or whatever, and this girl in the front row leaning had her hand on like the barrier, and she was just watching me everywhere I went. And I'm like, damn, she's kind of cute. So I'm like, rock and roll, dude. After this set, I'm gonna. So then I come off, I get changed. Culture Club starts up. They're up there, and I sneak around between the barrier and the stage. It's a big stage, and I try to find her. I'm popping up over the the security wall there, and I'm like, no, keep going a little further, and I pop up right in front of her. I go, hey, you want to come backstage? She's like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, I turn around and George has been watching me the whole time. And
Boy, George
is singing, and I'm the only one scurrying around trying to find, and he's like looking at me like, really? And it was like the next day I was like, Eric, don't do that when I'm singing, please.
How was Boy George? Is he cool?
Oh, very cool. Dude, totally cool.
That's awesome.
It's funny, bro, because we used to listen to all that stuff like Haircut 100, B-52s. Dude, I've worked with these artists so many times.
Love Jack,
all those old days that we listened to incessantly in the 80s, in the early 80s, you worked with.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. I have a couple quick questions. Biggest crowd ever you've performed in front of? Biggest.
That's a hard one.
You said 20,000.
Okay, well, but there's been a lot more than that because we do a lot of festivals over in England. In fact, we did one with the Cult on the Isle of Wight.
We get it. We're huge. We get it. No, I get it. We're talking.
Huge, bro.
They're the biggest crowd.
So
they're huge.
Huge.
So I'd like what 40, 50,000 people?
No. Actually, one of the biggest shows we did was one of the first shows I did with the group was in Finland. It was on a beach. It was a midnight sun festival, so it's literally like midnight and it's still not dark. And there were 250,000 people stretching down.
No way! Wow.
Yeah. In fact,
amazing.
First off, this was like the third show I'd ever done with the group, and so
that's like a pilgrimage.
Yeah, it was
totally.
It was insane. And when we got to YMCA, when everyone put their hands up, I actually stopped singing because it was like, holy crap! And I looked to my left, and there's Alex Riley, the soldier,
like a roar.
right, and there's Felipe Rose, the Native American. And I'm like, I'm in the fucking Village People. Look at this. YMCA.
And was it just like just a sea of arms as far as why the whole thing.
It was sick.
That's crazy.
But then you see, we did this show 2 years ago. We were like the headliners at Europe's Rockin' Disco Eve or whatever it's called. We played in front of the Brandenburg Gate, and they said there were at least 1 million people there because it goes all the way down the plaza there and through the park. So, and then of course it was on television. So that's a couple other things. But
a couple thousand more, a couple 100,000 more, something like that.
What are you gonna say? But I gotta tell you, as cool as it is to do shows like that, you almost don't have a connection with the audience. It's a very odd feeling. You're out, you see them and hear them, but it's just, I would say like the coolest crowds are like 10 to 15,000, where there's a lot of people, but you feel that closeness when it's so big.
Because there's like a humanity there, right? You feel the vibe of the people as opposed to, I would imagine, I've never done.
Look,
obviously.
Eric.
I'll just shut up.
No, sorry.
Okay, no.
I was gonna say, no, you said, you don't connect with hundreds of thousands of people because it's just a massive sea of people. And then you started to say, but I do connect with 10 or 15. And I thought you were gonna say people. and then he said 1,000 people. And I was like, because I'm the 10 or 15 people guy. Anyway, sorry. Just wanted to interject there. Eric, sorry.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That was it.
That's awesome, man.
I am curious. I do have another question for you. When you were at your prime with the Village People, how old were you?
Well, let's see. I'm going to be 55 in a couple months. So when we hit, thank you. When I first joined the group, let's put it this way. In the first year, we had done the Tonight Show 3 times. We'd been on Oprah, and we did a movie with Kelsey Grammer and Rob Schneider.
And how old were you?
Toured. That would have been 95. I was 30.
That's the prime of your life. That's
unbelievable.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You're on the Tonight Show. Yeah. You're selling out stadiums with the Village People. Yeah. You're probably, God knows what the fuck you were doing.
And look at his triceps.
Well, what that guy was doing. What's that guy doing?
Look at those tries.
Well, I gotta say though, wow. I was married for a couple of years there. Then I got divorced in around 2000. But just about the time I went down to Australia. I think that was already like the 3rd time we had been there. But and then there was this real big rise of disco. And I want to say it went on until around the mid 2000s, and then it started to dip. Like we did in 2008 have a really good year. We did an American Express commercial with Ellen DeGeneres and Beyonce. That was the year we got our star on the Walk of Fame. We traveled like between 250 and 300,000 miles that year. Jeez. So, but then it started to drop off a little bit. Then we had we had some members retire, and we had a couple new guys come in, and it was a new vibe, and we kept it up. But I would say we hit our peak when I was with the group in late 90s, mid 2000s, and then believe me, we last year, or was it a year ago? Yeah, last year around this time we did 10 sold out performances with Andre Rieu and his orchestra. He's a crazy violin player with the long hair.
Right.
Incredible guy. So that was I guess we sort of still got it. But.
So I missed the beginning because I was technical issues. We came into did you ever talk about how you got into the band in the beginning? Did I miss that part?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Then I'll watch it later. Any questions? Anybody watching?
Anyone? Shad Davis, anybody? How are you? Anyone have? Lindsay Stewart says, honestly, this is the best live show in America. Thanks.
Nice. Thank you, Lindsay.
We did it. Thanks, Lucy. I don't know if I wish I had questions for you. I don't have any questions. I've known you so long.
Well,
I
what you
do.
want?
I have
What do you
another.
want to know?
I have another question. When you, who writes all the Village People's music?
Well, that's a good
Like
question.
lyrics and vocals and chorus and everything. I don't
Right.
know, I'm
Well,
not a musician, so I don't know.
Well, the big hits were pretty much written by Jacques Morali and Victor Willis, who is the original lead singer. There have been smaller hits and we other stuff that we've added to the show, which we've all written. A lot of people think, oh, those guys don't sing, they're not musicians. No, we're all musicians. Most of us play instruments. All of us have studied voice or have degrees in music, and so we've written a few of our own songs. We actually had a kind of a side group for a while. We were calling ourselves what were we calling ourselves? I can't remember right now because we released a couple of
drug.
We would play around with stuff like that and release singles under a different name.
Do you guys go to a studio, like a rehearsal studio, and just like, I mean, I would imagine you tour a lot, so it's just not an easy thing to do. But do you take some time and say, listen, let's all meet in the studio, let's try to write another song or write a song, like, and they spend time jamming and throwing stuff together, and then like come up. I mean, just like any other band, right? You actually do new material, just like
Absolutely right. Yeah. Bill, who took over for David Hodo, Bill had worked actually with us back in the early 2000s, and then he took over for David when David retired in 2016. Bill has his own studio, so we would pop in there and try to lay down some tracks and see what worked and try it out at shows. Sometimes it just doesn't hit. You write something, you like it, and then it just doesn't. You get it up on its feet on stage, you add a little choreography, and you're like, yeah, that's not working. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're like musicians, and everyone's like, oh, yes, man.
They think you're just some everyday garden variety iconic 70s disco band.
Those people were like the Avengers of bands.
Shit.
Yeah.
Menudos. Yeah, the original Menudos.
You guys all had your superpowers.
That's right.
Hey,
Eric, Chicken wants to know, what's your favorite song to perform, and what's your favorite touring place? What's your favorite country to be in? Good question, Chicken. Thank you.
I heard Australia earlier. Is it Australia where you get a lot of love?
Well, I know it was. And my second wife was Australian, but I met her in Tokyo. And
Australia.
Was that Sean Connery I just heard? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Australia.
Australia. You know what? Australia is like going home for me.
Thanks, honey.
He comes out once in a while.
Yeah. I love Australia because I have so many friends and literally family. I mean, I'm divorced from my second wife now too. Woohoo, boy! Third time's a charm. Haven't met her yet, but
you haven't met your future
yeah. Thank God for Tinder. So, because during COVID, it's kind of rough. No. But yeah, I love Australia because I have so many friends, and my ex family is there, and I'm still close with all of them, and so I always love going there. Believe it or not, Germany, I love touring in Germany. The German crowds are the best. I speak German, although it's a little rusty because nobody in America speaks German, so I always kind of lose it after a while.
How do you say village people in German?
Well, that would be like Dorfleute, but you wouldn't say Dorfleute or Dorfbürger. That's an interesting. That's a very interesting.
The first time you've ever heard that question? Are you serious?
I ask hard questions on Hollywood.
You do. Damn it, you do. Yeah. So to Jen's to Jen's first question, I think Macho Man by far.
Macho Man, really?
You know why? Because as a guitarist, I love the power of getting wow.
I never thought about that.
And you know what? Speaking of Macho Man, and one of my favorites, Marilyn Manson. I know I'm gonna bounce around here a little bit, but I had the most awesome. We were the wedding band when Ozzy and Sharon got remarried on the Osbournes. We were the wedding band. So
wedding band
Really?
on the Osbournes when they got remarried. Okay.
Wow.
yes, we were actually on the
That's a
Osbournes.
great credit, by the way.
Right. Oh my God. And that was my two worlds coming together. All the guys were like, who's that?
Who's the
I'm like,
Muppet?
oh, that's Zach Wilde. That's Ozzy's guitarist. Who's that? That's Marilyn Manson.
Oh my God.
You know, and I was just like in heaven. I'm like,
God fucking heaven.
That's sick.
yeah. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So we're up there, we're doing our thing, and as we're playing Macho Man, I'm not even kidding you, Marilyn Manson is there. Well, he's all, you know, he's in his, it's not Brian Warner, it's Marilyn. He's there with all of his crap and everything. And he is literally bouncing up and down to Macho Man, like about 3 rows back from the stage. And I'm like, this is great. He was like, yeah, you know. Afterwards, we went backstage. He went backstage. We were all hanging out. Dita and Marilyn and Ray and me and I think Felipe and somebody else from the group. And he was like, "I love you guys. I have a poster of Can't Stop the Music in my bedroom. This is Marilyn Manson." And I'm going, dude, you are just totally ruining the image that I had of you, but in a cool way. I mean, we were drinking champagne. It was like. It was very nice rock and roll, which, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Nice rock and roll.
Zach is actually pretty cool, too. I've met Zach. Zach, did you talk to Zach at all that night? Zach Wilde?
I didn't, but here's the thing. Zach, it was a little awkward because it was at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and so we're all waiting for our cars. We're standing there. Zach is standing next to Felipe, who's in his full everything.
Right.
He's doing this, he does this call thing. He's doing that and all this. And he looks at Zach and he goes, "Hey, man, did you like the show?" And he's like, puts out his hand, and Zach literally was like looking at him like Zach wasn't going to give him the time of day. And so
really,
Felipe was like, "What's wrong with him?" And I'm like, "Dude, just no." So,
sorry.
I love Zach Wilde. I love
him. He's cool. He might have been wasted at the time, but I don't know. I don't know, Zach. I wasn't there. I don't know if you were wasted or not. I'm just saying it's.
No, we were a little.
From my friend.
I don't normally drink champagne, and we were going through the champagne backstage with Marilyn. So
I'll bet. That's awesome. It's a great story.
Champagne.
Yeah.
What's next for you, Eric? What's going on
I was just gonna ask.
during COVID, post-COVID? Like, how is this affecting you?
Well,
As a
obviously
live
nobody's
musician?
working. Nobody's working. Musically, we had to cancel a bunch of shows. We've actually sort of transitioned without getting into the dirty nitty-gritty of the music business. We those of us from the Village People formed a new group called Kings of Disco, former members of Village People, and Victor Willis, who was the original.
I'm sorry, what's it called?
Together.
It's called the
Kings of Disco.
Kings of Disco, former members of Village People. We're in that one of those, what is that? Creedence Clearwater Revival. We're in one of those situations right now.
right.
And we did. We had we had to postpone a bunch of gigs that we had on the books this year, and we have 20. We had a tour and 20 that were scheduled for next year, but we don't know what's going to happen yet. It's really rough. You just got to. Thankfully, I do other things. Let's put it that way. So I keep myself busy. Yeah.
Well, hopefully everybody will, back to a normal schedule again, and we either find a vaccine or everybody just gets it and we're all immune, or the weak stay away from the strong. I don't know. Elon Musk is going to launch another SpaceX thing and the thing. I don't know. Hollywood Tales. That's a great photo.
That was when the construction worker and the cowboy. This was in 2016. Bill replaced David as the construction worker, and Jim Newman replaced Jeff Olson as the cowboy. The rest of us, myself, Ray Simpson, and Alex, and Felipe and Alex are original. Ray replaced Victor Willis in 1979. And of course, I replaced Glenn in the mid 90s. And those are my Cher tour pants. I had those. When we toured with Cher.
Nice.
Yeah. When we toured with Cher, I had to get some new chaps, man. I had them painted and tricked out.
What is she like?
Cher is absolutely a class act. You know,
She seems like it. I've never met her. Actually, I take that back. I did meet her once. I got invited to a table read for a movie that she was slated to direct, and then something happened where it didn't happen. But it was me and her and like probably 40 other people. And yeah, she couldn't have been kinder. She was super nice. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go.
Stacey,
you want to answer Stacy? Hi, Stace.
No, I was going to say, yeah, go ahead, answer her.
I got my nickname. What are you talking about, Abby? Abby, if anyone knows Young Frankenstein, you know, Abby Normal. And I was a bit Abby Normal when I was younger. I guess I still am. So I would do things like, just to make people laugh, I would like dive into a dumpster or cover myself in ketchup or, you know, just crazy things.
He did things that, like, that I won't go into. He would do something at the drop of the hat without batting.
He asked me to do something, I would do it.
Without batting an eye, he would do it. It was kind of awesome. Sarah, why are we talking about herd immunity? Because if it's not a thing. Okay.
Okay. Right. Speaking of herd immunity, so when I was with Cher,
antibody goes away after 3 months.
It's so weird because we have like these really serious posts and stuff, and then we're just going to go back to so Cher and the chaps. But no, Cher, I love Cher, and she's so down to earth, and that whole diva thing, it's so weird. You know, we toured with her for like a year and a half, pretty much around the globe.
So let me ask you this. This really quick. You're on tour with Cher, right? You guys are probably selling out stadiums, I'd imagine.
Yeah, mostly arenas, but some bigger
arenas. So you guys are getting paid. You guys probably have nice travel accommodations, this, that, and the other thing.
We had a killer tour.
Is she snacking you guys out on top of that?
Is she what?
Is she snacking you guys out on top of that? Is she like picking up dinner tabs, buying clothes? Here's a watch.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Here's a Rolex. You know, shit like that.
Well, she didn't go that far, but yes, she, and not just us. She treats her crew. It's like the coolest. I've never toured with someone like this, and I've toured with a lot of people.
She seems like a kind woman. Yeah.
Right. Our tour bus. I've never been on a tour bus that is so stocked. Because the way Cher likes to tour is like really touring. Like you do a show overnight, next town. Do a show overnight, next town. So that's what we're doing.
I did one of those.
They load your bus up while you're doing the show. So you get on the bus, it's loaded with food and booze and whatever, and it's
right.
But she also did things.
You're on your own bus though, right?
No, we had our own bus. No.
Yeah, so she has her bus, and you guys have your own bus.
Oh, there were like 10 buses. I mean, she had her own bus. We had our bus. Their dancers had a bus. Their crew has a bus. Dude,
okay, slow down. This is too much. I'm not used to this kind of lifestyle.
Yes, he wants to know how he got on Grindr.
I think he liked it.
This is fascinating. This is fascinating, bro. This is fascinating. I love hearing tour stories.
Well, you're gonna love this. Because this is the story I always tell about Cher. We were in the middle of nowhere. I think we were somewhere outside of Des Moines. And it was like a Sunday night. Everything was closed. There was nothing to do. We were off. And Cher decided that she was going to rent all this bingo equipment, get the ballroom at the hotel we were staying at, have a full catered like a catered snacks, orders, appetizers, and open bar for everyone, not just the dancers, the singers, us, the lead crew, but everyone down to the lowest rigger, everyone was invited, and she put her own money into the pot as prizes. So we all went down to the ballroom and we played bingo, and she sat there and played bingo. And to this day, whenever I hear someone go, "Oh," I can hear Cher going, "Oh, 69."
That's
It was like
so cool.
And how many people are you talking? 200, 100?
Oh, no. I would say probably
40?
Around 100.
50?
No, about 100. 100.
Okay.
That's still, that's a lot of people. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a big crew.
So, yeah, it was fantastic. So she did crap like that all the time. It was, I was blown away. And
When
then
was this?
this was that 2004 and 2005. In fact, her first final farewell tour, which is we were on the second one. Her last show at the Hollywood Bowl was, I think it was in April 2005 or somewhere in the spring of 2005. We were there for her last show ever, and then the final closing party. And I played pool. It was the party for the closing party was the bowling lane that's down from the Hollywood Bowl. We were all staying at the hotel next door. What is that?
Lucky Strike.
bowling alley? That's it. Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike.
And I think I played pool with Jeff Latinzi. What was the boy toy that she used to go out with?
Rob. Oh fuck.
Rob something.
He was Rob Latanzi, something like that. Some Italian name.
Yeah.
Rob. He was a bartender at Roxbury.
Yeah, he's a very cool dude.
Yeah, he was cool. I knew him a little bit, sort of. He was cool.
Yeah, the Cher tour for me was because, like I said, that was about the time where I was like, yeah, I'm loving this. As a musician, I never got over like the success because I know it can be gone the next, 2 days later, it's gone. Especially in the music industry. And so that was a really good experience. And and I guess I got a little sloppy at one point in that year because I kind of told Pink off. I gave her a piece of my mind, which didn't really move her so well.
Hold on. Let's pause. Did you open for Pink? And then something happened, or you met her randomly, or
Yeah. So we were in Australia, and we were there during the Gay Mardi Gras. Which, dude, if you've never been, that is the best party ever. The whole world flies in there for that party. It's like it's ridiculous. Rio
coming from a straight guy,
called the Gay Mardi
must be
Gras.
a really good party.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. And every year, big stars go down there to headline. John's down there all the time. Pink, certainly a lot and all that. But we were there with Cher during Mardi Gras.
Thank you, Stacy.
Oh, thanks, Stace. So we're down there with Cher, and a lot of Cher's dancers were dancers for Pink, and so she came to see the show. And first, a little backstory. Back up a couple years, we were on an early morning flight on a regional jet, one of those small little jets, somewhere, I forget. I think we were in Ohio going back to New York or something. And it was like 6:30 in the morning flight. So we all get on the plane and we're like, I'm out, and we were all sitting in first class on a regional jet. It's a very small little area, right? Last person to get on the plane is this blonde woman, and her, well, we didn't know, it was a big guy. And they were very loud and obviously very happy. And we were like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? And so then they just ordered drinks and continued to be like loud as we're all trying to sleep. So I asked the flight attendant, I go, who's that? She goes, oh, that's Pink. Now, at the time, she was just coming up, no pun intended.
Right.
You're
And
still rapping.
that song used to grate on my nerves. Like my daughter, who was at that age, my daughter's almost 22 now, but at that time she was like, Dad, turn that up. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm like, oh my God, I hate this song.
You're like, I spotted this bitch on a plane one morning.
Well, see, this is what happened. So I'm like, I swear to God, I just was like, I'm over Pink. So flash forward a couple of years, we're there, we did the show. At the time, I was dating one of Cher's dancers, and
Hello.
Nice.
yeah, she came up to me and she goes, we were all at this Mardi Gras party, which when you party in Australia during Mardi Gras, it's total day drinking. I mean, you literally you roll out of bed, skip the coffee, and just start drinking. So
I've done that.
by the time,
Sunshine.
yeah, by the time my girlfriend at the time came up to say, hey, Pink's coming to this party, because we were all on this rooftop party watching the parade, and she wants to meet you. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, she's going to be here in a little bit, and she wants to meet you. And I'm like, excellent. I'm totally hammered, dude. I am like, literally like, I don't know how I was still standing up at that point. I'm like, fucking Pink. Ugh. Sure enough, party's going on, in comes Pink. Pink comes in. My friend comes over and goes, all right, she's here. She wants to meet you. I go, okay, great. I go, where is she? Oh, she's over there. Okay, great. So I go over to her and I go, hey. And she goes, hi. And I said, I'm Eric. And she goes, I'm Alicia. And I went, oh, very nice to meet you, Alicia. And she goes, I don't know. I don't remember this totally clearly. I just remember like the big things. But we did a little small talk. And then she was like, yeah, I liked the show and it was great and everything. And I go, yeah, I'm glad you liked it. And I go, you know, I've been meaning to say something to you for a while. And she goes, what? And I go, okay, first off, you were on a flight a couple years ago, really early in the morning. You got on the plane last. You were very loud. I couldn't sleep. I don't know what you were doing, but you guys were obviously drunk or something, and I didn't appreciate that. And then she goes, okay. And I go, yeah, here's the other thing. You know that song, I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I go, that is the most annoying song I think I've ever heard. And my daughter would always say, turn it up, Dad. I said, I've just been meaning to tell you this for a while. And she just looked at me like, and I went, anyway, it's nice to meet you. Cool. I walked away. So I go back over. Now there's a lot of people there. It was all crew and everyone from the Cher show. And my friend runs up to me and she goes, what did you say to her? I go, I don't know. I just told her what I felt, I was just being honest. And she goes, well, I think you hurt her feelings. You need to go apologize. I said, I'm not going to apologize. I said, I just told her what I was thinking. I mean, no way. She goes, please, look, we're all friends. You're going to make us look bad or whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. So now I go back over and I go, can I talk to you? She goes, yeah, okay. So now we walk over into this corner. So she's standing in the corner and I'm looking at her. And then her bodyguard like literally stands in front of us. So now everyone's watching. They're watching us. And I'm like, so I go like this. I'm sorry. I said, look, I've been drinking all day. I didn't mean to say, I was just, I'm sorry. And she goes, well, first off, the thing about the plane, you have to give a girl a break. I was young. Do you know how, and she said, do you know how much money I made on that song? I said, oh, I believe it. And she goes, and the thing is, I'm a rocker just like you. I'm a rocker. But I got to tell you, I made a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And she said, and then she said, as far as the song, and then she said, but as far as like the party thing on the plane, yeah, I was just getting started, and it was fun. It was still, so come on. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. And I felt like an ass, right? So I walk away. And I'm like watching her, and then I start thinking, And my friend goes, Eric, I need to go back to the hotel right now. And I'm going, you know where it is. She goes, I don't know Sydney like you do. I need to get back to the hotel because I'm thinking, I think I'm going to talk to Pink a little more. And so I'm literally, she's pulling my arm and I'm like, oh, all right, fine. So I go, hold on. I want to go say goodbye. So Pink's on the dance floor dancing. It wasn't really a dance floor. It was like a house party, but everyone was dancing. She's dancing. I walk up to her and I go, hey, I gotta go back to the hotel. I gotta take her back to the hotel. So I gotta go. And she goes, okay, well, how do I get a hold of you? And I said, and I don't know why I said it. I think I was thinking because it would be the easiest way. I said, just email the website. And
Big time.
And she literally stopped and looked at me like, are you fucking kidding me? And then she did like a total Pink thing. She just went, and she shoved me. And I totally wasted too. I'm like falling backwards and I totally fall down on the ground. And I'm like, God, I got to get out of here. So anyway, that's my Share Tour Pink story, which was
you know what? That's a great story. And I'll tell you why. Because I learned 2 lessons here. Never fuck with a girl named Pink.
right.
And it's interesting because we'll talk about it in another episode, but I have a story similar to that. You never know in our industry who's gonna blow the fuck up. And it all kind of boils down to just killing people with kindness and being polite, and whether she hates you for the rest of your life or not doesn't matter, but it just kind of goes to show that, it's just interesting. You just never know who you're fucking dealing with. She's also, she also works out. So there's that.
She also what?
She works out.
She does work out. Yeah,
She's fit.
She pushed a grown man on the ground. I mean,
yeah,
she's not to be trifled with. I like Pink. I think Pink's awesome, actually.
Well,
that is a great story.
That's a great
Hollywood tale. That's a great Hollywood tale.
Just go easy on it. It's a day drinking thing, man. That's a takeaway. No day drinking.
Yeah.
Ever when you're on a Share Tour.
Do you
At least I'll never do any great day drinking. If I'm ever on a Share Tour, that's it. Not going to happen, bro.
What's your drink of choice, Eric?
As I've aged, I've had to change it up a little bit because, I used to be a big beer drinker, but.
Me too. Sucks.
Yeah, so I've sort of switched it up, and I gotta admit, I'll do I like wine. Like during the summer, I like a nice crisp white wine. Oh, I love it. And I've actually gotten into, and I hate to admit this, I really hate to admit this, I love the Ruby Red Grapefruit White Claw.
Dude, it's good.
It's great.
It's really
and it's 100 calories serving, and there's like little sugar, no carbs.
Stop. So good. Come on.
Yeah.
It's taking over the world.
Good. But then I got my good old standby, which is just vodka and grapefruit.
I'm going no booze for a couple of weeks, or trying, and I'm ready to strangle myself. So I'm on the.
LaCroix. I know that one.
I go with the tangerine. My drink of choice is the tangerine. In case you're wondering.
We got a question.
Stacey has a question.
One question, and the whole hour we've been only one question.
Who have you met in Hollywood that was the most important and meaningful to you?
Eric Mills.
Wow, Stacey. Yeah.
For me, it was Mark Teschner.
Yeah.
Who was a casting director. He's first guy who gave me a shot. You know what I mean? So you can never forget a guy like that. He's been the head of casting for I think General Hospital for 35 years now. I don't know, 40. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And he just kept bringing me in, and gave me some good advice. And as a Hollywood person, I mean, there are more people like friends and stuff that have been more meaningful per se personally, but as a Hollywood tale, Mark Teschner is my guy, man. Like that guy changed my life, so
I have to disagree. Mark Teschner never gave me a shot. He always, whenever my name got submitted, he always just put my picture on the bottom of the.
He's like blank.
Of the,
Yeah,
of the,
I went right to the top. Maybe he likes Latinos, man. You know what I mean? He likes the greasy Latino.
Nah, man. For me, Mitzi Shore, owner of the world famous.
Oh,
comedy
Mitzi.
store.
Mitzi, yeah.
She was my Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda queen, grandmother. That woman, I owe everything to her, actually.
Awesome.
Mitzi.
RIP.
Yeah.
I don't.
Eric, what about you, Eric Mills?
Other Eric. Go, Eric.
Oh no, are you Eric?
He's thinking.
I'm thinking. Give me a minute. I'm uploading. As far as
That's hard.
for Hollywood stuff, I would say back in the day when I was an actor, it would be either Dara Saba. Well, Dara Saba gave me my first shot on Days of Our Lives, and she was great. She loved me. She grabbed me and put me right on the show. It was like the easiest audition I ever had. I had really good agent stuff back then. I mean, I had a lot of people that were really good to me that I was too young to appreciate. But I don't know, man. It's hard to say. As far as where I am now, you know, doing locations and what I'm doing now, location managing and doing stuff like that, I'd say probably as much as you know, Carlos and Dougie. Carlos Aragon and Dougie Dresser are the guys that got me
Dougie D
now, and it saved my life pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't be. I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing this. So Carlos and Dougie, I love you guys. Thank you.
Dougie D.
You'd be doing a podcast with us. That's what you'd be doing.
I'd be doing a podcast with you, exactly. Right.
Thank you for that.
Cool.
We should call this the COVID podcast.
We should.
During COVID.
Sarah loves all the seltzer. So do I, Sarah. More seltzer.
La Croix.
You know, it's funny because that question is kind of like, what's your favorite song or what's your favorite film? I mean, I don't know how people do that. I guess I'm sort of a true Libra in that way. I can never decide, like one week it might be this and the next week it might be that. But, you know, I always have like my top 10 or whatever that's there. The people in Hollywood that I've met, you know.
Maybe in the beginning, you know, like just.
Yeah, it's hard to. Well, okay, like for example, if we're talking about people that have given me inspiration and said things to me, I had a chance meeting with Gene Simmons, not Gene Simmons, but actress Gene Simmons.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I was actually at her house on her birthday because her nephew was a friend of mine that I worked with as a waiter. And my buddy's like, "Hey, it's my aunt's birthday. You want to come over and hang out? We're gonna go in the pool and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." You know, we were waiting tables together and stuff. So I went. His name was Ian Simmons, and there she was. It was just me, Ian, and Gene, and
it's kind of cool.
It was, and I didn't know. Like, I had no idea that his aunt was Gene Simmons, right? So at one point, I said she was just sitting in her bedroom reading and drinking tea, and I walked in. We'd been in the pool. I go, "Where's your bathroom?" She goes, "Oh, go back there, around the corner." Went around. Okay, I go back there, and to get to the bathroom, you have to go through this like sitting room den sort of area, and there's all these Hollywood stills. I'm going, "Wow, she really cool. A lot of cool stuff." And then I see this Academy Award nomination plaque for Gene Simmons, and I'm like, "Wow, she's a real collector." Then I go into the bathroom, and on next to the toilet, no joke, is a book by Sir Laurence Olivier. And I opened it up, and in the cover it said "To Jeannie from Larry," and I went, "Wow, holy shit!" So I did my business. I ran back out. I go, Ian, you didn't tell me your aunt was Gene Simmons." She was, yeah. He's like, "Well, I didn't, you know, first off, I didn't even know you know who she was." And I'm like, you know, I was a total musical theater geek back then. You know, Guys and Dolls was like in my blood. So yeah. So, but we talked a little bit because I was an actor and I wanted to make it in the business, and she was just talking about the industry, and she was videotaping us too. It was really an odd moment because I'm being videotaped by Gene Simmons doing flips into her pool, and we're talking about the acting industry. And
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was insane. And also the year before that, I had met Bob Hope doing crew for something, and I ran into. We went through a doorway together, and we kind of did like a, we touched stomachs going through the doorway, and he made some sort of crack, and I don't know. And then we had a few other things that we said, and he said something like, kid, you're going to go places or something like that. And I just thought, you know what? That's it.
Bob Hope, you're good. You're done.
I'm going to go places than I am. So, that was sort of random things. But then I've had moments lately, recent, not long ago, but like with someone like Fran Drescher, who I hung out with one night.
Oh my God, I love
yeah, we were sitting in our hotel room and she was giving me relationship information, like, honey, do this. No, she's too young for you. And it's like, so it just, there's weird sort of paths of, Fran Drescher really helped me in a rough time in my life because I was going through a breakup. But that had nothing to do with my career. But she is a Hollywood person, but she was very helpful, inspirational, and she's a sweetheart.
Fran Drescher is in Saturday Night Fever, and she says, "Hey Tony, you as good on bed as you are on the dance floor?" And he says something, and she goes, "Why do they send me flowers after every time?" And he goes, "I don't know. Maybe they think you're dead." Great throwaway, quick line. And she's like, she's probably 19 and really hot.
Yeah, totally.
Really hot.
Trust me, that woman's smoking. I should have sent you the picture of me and her backstage at a show. It was fun.
She's very cool.
She was also in Spinal Tap. She was the
correct.
The tour promoter or what? The record label.
The record label.
The A&R person or something. Yeah,
right. Jesus Christ, I have to watch Spinal Tap again. It's been fucking 20 years. But yes, she's awesome, dude. Fran Drescher rules. She's great, gorgeous, talented, actually, very talented.
Oh, absolutely,
very talented woman.
Beat cancer too. Cancer smasher. Cancer smancer.
She's overcome a number of fairly serious hardships, but she's cool. Yeah. So there you go.
I have a quick Gene Simmons, like the real Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
Tale. I used to bartend at Soho House back in the day, in in the border of the Soho House, the bar and stuff. And we were working this party, and he was there, and he was there with his kid. And he gives the kid, like I could hear everything. When you're bartending, you hear everything. You know what I'm saying, Eric? Like you can hear like people in the bathroom. Like I heard you, And then he goes to him, he pulls out some money out of his pocket, he gives this kid who was like, teenager or whatever. He gives him $100. He's like, "Hey, give this to the guys at the bar." And then blah 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 and so. His son immediately puts $100 in his pocket and just that was our tip. Yeah.
Little prick.
We did a when we were in Australia with Culture Club in 2000. We did because the Village People were on Casablanca, just like Kiss, and Kiss were down there doing their symphony tour. So we were all in Melbourne, and they decided to have a Casablanca party. So it was us and Kiss, and that was one of the coolest moments of my life. And I do not get starstruck because I've worked with some extremely famous people. And, when you're in the industry and you reach a certain level, you're on the same level as them. If you get starstruck, it's a little awkward. Like, they're like, what? Because I know it's kind of a weird topic to get into, but we're down there. Now, Kiss, I grew up on Kiss, right? I'm a massive Kiss fan. And so I'm like totally stoked on this. I'm like, oh my God, Kiss is going to be there, and Gene and Paul, and I forgot it wasn't Peter and Ace who was in the group at that point. But we get there, and we're all there. It's not a big party, small party, but Felipe comes up to me and goes, who's the Native American and Village People, goes, Eric, come here. I want you to meet Paul. And I'm like, cool. So I walk over to Paul, and Felipe goes, Paul, this is Eric. And Paul goes, yeah, you're the new leather guy. And I went, oh my God, Paul Stanley knows who I am. And I'm like, dude, it's a pleasure, But that was so cool. He's like, yeah, there I am, right? You're the new leather guy. Yeah, that was definitely a cool moment,
Paul's supposed to be very cool. I've never met him, but I've heard he's really very friendly guy. I met Gene briefly once at a nightclub when I did Days. I worked with Shannon Tweed, who was the Playmate of the Year at the time.
I love me some Shannon Tweed.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. She was cool. She was cool. I worked with her on
She's
Days.
like the queen of the B movies, right?
Did she? Maybe, yeah. I know that she was on the book with me. I don't know what she did after that, but I know she married Gene Simmons.
I was tweening during that time.
Were you tweening? What, man?
It's working. That's important.
I was jerking.
And she was married to Simmons, and I saw them at somewhere in Hollywood. Jesus Christ, I don't remember where it was. Somewhere on some big fucking club on Hollywood Boulevard in the '90s. About 10 years after I worked with her, and I went over to say hello, and she was cool. And he was a dick.
What?
Gene.
He was?
Yeah, not at that night. I don't know if he was, if that's like his modus operandi, but he was a dick that night.
This kid stole $100 from me, so
So yeah, so. But she was very sweet. So, but we were talking about Kiss, not Shannon.
Yeah, we were talking about Kiss.
All right, cool, man. This has been fantastic, Eric. Thank you for sharing all your Hollywood tales and all the tales that you ran into.
That's right. Chicken just said that Jeannie's coming to her office and he was not nice. He's not a friendly guy. Anyway, this was outstanding.
Can we sample some of your music before we lead out, or how does that work? Copyright wise, are you guys gonna sue us?
Yeah, well, I'm out of that now. Like I said, we're doing our own thing. Yeah, it might. I wouldn't.
I'm joking. We have our own.
They're litigious. Listen, all I can tell you is
Radio Raheem.
Yeah,
Radio Raheem.
I could. We could all sing together. We could do that. I could. You want to know how to do the correct YMCA?
Sure, let's do it.
Hell yeah!
All right. First off, the first letter is Y, right?
Y.
Right? Okay. What's M? Show me M. Let me see M.
Shit.
Oh shit!
Wasn't it?
No monkeys. No monkeys.
I can't do it.
That's it.
M.
Oh, M.
What?
M. Okay.
M.
Wow.
C.
C.
Right. So it's C's to the left. I can't tell who's going.
If you're lucky, it's a C.
It's a C. Right. But a lot of people go the other way, right? A.
Okay. C. A. Y.
Right. All right. You guys ready? So, ready? Here we go.
Yep.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Whoops. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can. Oh my God. I'll tell you something else that's funny. I'll tell you something else that's funny. When I got married, the first time.
That took me back, man. That took me back.
Yeah, when I got married the first time, I had literally just joined the band, like not even a year before, and we had the band that played with us on the Tonight Show all the time. They were my wedding band, so they knew all the Village People stuff. So they were like, "Let's do some Village People stuff." And the guys were like, and Glenn was at my wedding too, whoever plays. And they were like, "Nah, we're not getting up there." But they all left, and then after they left, they're like, "Let's do YMCA," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's do YMCA." And they're like, "Eric, get up here." So I go, "All right." So I get up there and they're like, all right, and they're playing, dun, 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 and I'm like, all right, here we go, you guys. And I'm like, young men, because I don't sing lead, right? So I'm just doing the backup. And they're like, oh no, the guy's like, you got to sing lead. And I'm like, I don't know the fucking words. Because that's all I ever sing. You know, Navy or young men.
That's kind of
Young men.
That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny.
Amazing.
Now I know the words. So now I can do it.
That's awesome.
So you want
All
to play at my next wedding since you know the words?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do it live. Yeah, your next wedding. Sorry, chicken.
All right.
Wait. By the way, I can marry people too. If you ever need to.
You're ordained?
I am ordained. Felipe and I.
Where did you get that done? I want to get it done.
In Vegas. So we had this couple that wanted to get married by the village people. They're part of the,
Really?
Yeah, we're part of the Universal Life Church, and
That's awesome.
we had a run at the Riviera some time ago, and they said we can ordain you if you'll marry us on. Jen's like, I'm good, and so we got ordained. Felipe and I got ordained, and we married them during a Village People show, and then afterwards we have a company called Leather, like Weddings by Leather and Feather. And so we marry people in our outfits, like leather. I'll show up in leather like that, but I'll marry you legally. So
do you?
Nice.
And then I'll teach everyone how to do YMCA at the reception.
At the wedding?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love it.
All right. This is
I'm impressed. I mean, this has been a nice hour and 20, almost 23 minutes of stories and great tales. Yeah.
yeah.
Will you come back? Will you come back and be on the show sometime?
I absolutely will, because I have
Whatever you call this.
I didn't even.
You're going to be a friend of the show, my good man.
A friend.
I haven't even gotten half of the freaky stuff that I've seen. And
We'll get into the freaky stuff next time.
We'll get into the freaky stuff. Yes.
Right.
Like, do you still have, like, how many other pants do you have? You know.
Maybe the next time I'll just wear my leather. And
We can tell the butter story and
oh shit, the butter story.
save it for next time.
Hey, do you guys know that Eric and I were on the Phil Donahue show like in 1984?
No.
Yeah, we were out in Chicago. We were on the Phil Donahue show because we were new romantics and we wore makeup. And there's this great.
You were Neuro? I was Neuro.
Yeah.
Well, to be clear, at the time we really wore more like punk stuff, just eyeliner and like black shit. It was like goth before goth.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I got into the Indian Earth. We did the Indian Earth like
The Indian Earth.
Remember that shit?
Oh my god, I do. I remember that stuff. Yeah. I remember that.
Story. Yeah, but we have a great story, so maybe we'll do this next time where
We'll save it for next time.
Where Eric and I ordered some food, room service at the hotel we were at in Chicago, and we needed more butter. And it was kind of funny because we were
We need more butter. We need more butter.
The butter.
We need butter. Can you bring?
Can you just bring butter? It's a whole thing. Yeah, that's a whole build up.
We could make a whole episode out of that.
Yeah.
That's episode 14.
The butter episode with Eric.
Thank you for being on the show, man. You killed it, brother. I love it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing your stories and making time for us and indulging in our stupidity and whatever you want to call it.
Hollywood Tales.
Anything you want to plug before we sign out? And Adrian, I want to plug Truck Stop Comedy. Eric, you want to throw anything in? But Eric A, anything you want to plug, throw out?
Not yet.
Comment on?
No. To be announced soon. I'll plug something, but at the moment.
And where can they find you?
Eric Anslone at yeah, there you
Eric
go.
Anslow Instagram. Okay.
I'm on Facebook. I do have, if you want, I do have my own production company, which is buckandfinch.com, but basically,
Buck and
any of the social media stuff is good.
Yeah, if you can, Adrian, can you throw that up there? What's it called? Buck and Finch or Buck and Finch?
Buckandfinch.com, Buck, B-U-C-K, and Finch.com.
Yeah, if you don't mind plugging that up there.
Company. Like I said, I do a million things. I shoot video, I edit, I do a lot of real estate videos and stuff like that. But I've never just been doing one thing. Even when I was in the Village People forever, I just went and got degrees. I got certified in this, certified in that. I started this business. I did that because I can't just have one thing, because sometimes it goes away. You gotta have a lot of stuff going on in your life. That's the way I always live. So.
Scott Suskind said it was a great show, and he wants to say you his regards. That's what Scott.
Love you, Scotty.
So, Ahmed, we got your show coming up.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening and will be listening for the next 9 days, this September 10th, we're doing the one of the first ever outdoor COVID-friendly, COVID-safe stand-up comedy shows, socially distanced, mask required. The link is right here. It's on my Instagram, and Adrian is also kind enough to put it on the little ticker there, Eventbrite. There are 120 seats, and it's going to be every week, every Thursday. So if you guys are in the Los Angeles area, please check it out. Eric Mills.
Just thanks for tuning in. Next time, come back, and we'll have more fun. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, guys, thank you for indulging us for an hour and a half almost. This is episode 5 of Hollywood Tales, September 1st. It is around 6:28 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm signing off from Venice Beach. Eric.
Yes, sir. Eric Anslone, thank you, brother. I love you. Good job.
Yep.
Both from Philly. We got Adrian from the East Coast. Maybe we'll play some music and lead us out if you don't mind, Adrian.
Adrian, baby. Ahmed,
Adrian, love you guys. Adrian, what do you want to plug? Anything you want to throw out there real quick?
We got a show October 8th at the Mohegan Sun Comics, 10 p.m. So we got some time coming up.
Throw it up there. Throw it up there in a little ticker.
Okay.
I love the Mohegan Sun, dude. We played the Wolf Den up there. We played the arena. I love
the Wolf Den. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
I'll throw it up next time.
And then we're gonna do episode 6 probably this Thursday or Friday. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe. Mask up for now. Be vigilant. God bless you. See you next time.
Peace love.